think I'm ready to go. Ready to go there. Let's go live. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 12th of September. So before we look at the data, let's just have a look at the risk events coming out today. If I can pick up the right one would be good. And let's just do a quick refresh on the page. So we've got the data that's already been released there. So some UK data this morning, average earnings pushing up 8.5% versus the 8.2 expected, up just 0.1 from the last month's figures, but so this is a 3-month average actually, but either way it's up 0.1, but it's still up, it's higher, it puts pressure on the pound effectively to the upside. Claimant count drops quite considerably there. So there still seems to be a robust employment situation. Personally, I think it may be that people are running out and getting a second job, but or any job. But well, anyway, there we are. The figures to come out today, then it's just this German economic sentiment. We can get a bit of volatility from that, so just watch out for that about 10 o'clock. It's not normally a game changer of any sorts, but with the German economy being support at the moment, it might just have a little bit more impact. So that's it really for today. So let's tick that over. What I didn't look for on there actually, I'll just look for it on my other system. Here's speakers. Speakers today, well, we've got nothing until 3 o'clock. Bank of England man speaking at 3 o'clock. So nothing there. Okay, so let's have a look at the charts, and as ever, starting off with the euro dollar, now strong downward trend. I was wondering whether we were going to get more of a retracement here, but it looks like it's been stemmed a little bit here, and then potentially there's a short opportunity sitting on this. We'll see how it fits in. It's got a couple more hours to run on this current bar, but we'll just see what the price action does on the lower time frames. But it is a sort of a flaggy sort of pattern in the bigger picture there, and just looking a bit on the ugly side. As I say, I'm just now visualizing the trend line across there. Let's just pop it across there. It's probably already started breaking. It has, but I'll leave this until post 8 o'clock anyway. I don't rush into pre 8 o'clock movement. We'll just see what's happening. But the bigger picture to me is more important here. I'm just looking at where it is relative to its weekly pivot. A break of that really gives us an opportunity down to the lows, but maybe even down towards the S1. But I have in the back of my mind, of course, we've got the ECB meeting on Thursday. So looking soft at the moment in the bigger picture. On the shorter time frames, well, it did look like we were going to see something more, and we have. We've seen some higher lows come through there. It's just softening here. This could, bear in mind, this could just find some support around this sort of level off that weekly pivot and bounce back up again. So it's just a patience job there first. Right, let's move on. Look at the other markets. The pound. I can get to the pound, that'd be good. Pound had a decent bounce yesterday, still trying this sort of similar price action to the euro in terms of lower highs, lower lows that are already sitting down there. We have put in some short-term sort of movement here with a higher low coming through, but quite ugly how it's sitting right now. The news should have probably bolstered it a little bit more, increasing the expectation of rate increases, but doesn't seem to be the case at the moment, which would suggest a bit of softness. However, again, wait until afterwards. But I'd rather be on the euro short than the pound short here, but it does have the scope to get back down towards the lows. Right, US dollar yen. So the yen, as expected really, it started its recovery a little bit more now. We've seen the gap down the comments yesterday, but today, well, yesterday afternoon, most what was it? What time was that? it really started around about 8 o'clock. It started a bit of a reversal. Yes, it came back down in the sort of midday-ish there, but we're creeping back up. Are we going to go and fill the gap? Obviously comes to mind when we start pushing up here. See what it does this morning. Again, it's sort of given lots of look at the big time frames and the gap and everything else. It looks bullish, but are we just seeing a retrace and we get a continuation? So I'm sort of wearing both caps here, and just in terms of it's not completely obvious. My preference would be probably to the upside, and that's sort of, you've got to be careful when you have a preference here, but the preference comes from the dailies, so that's the only reason. I'm just so aware of the potential risk of the Bank of Japan actually doing something more stealthily, or not so stealthily. He doesn't really want to do it stealthily because it's or stealthily even, because it wants people to move out. Anyway, Aussie dollar seems to be having a bit better time of things. It had the shot up there at 2 o'clock this morning, and it's sort of pushing up at the moment. What was it 2 o'clock this morning? Was it or speaker? It was 2 o'clock this morning, I'm sure. Can't see anything here at the moment, but sure there was a destined speaker at 2 o'clock this morning. Yeah, Australian. It's alright, I'm just having a quick look. Can't help but look, but can't see anything for a moment. Anyway, it's done what it's done there. It's got a little sort of ball flag on this intermediate time frame looking price action, and it's looking like it wants to push through. Now it's against the dollar here. The dollar seems to be doing slightly better elsewhere, so just a bit wary about it. But again, it could push up there. It's a sort of flaggy pattern. It's got a bit ugly, but could push on. It's not a trade I'm looking to take. US dollar CAD, well, you can see what's happening short term. We sort of we started this rollover again. It's put the lower highs in there, consolidating around a low here, just like I suppose the Aussie. It's showing a little bit more strength, so we're seeing the strength in the commodity currencies at the moment, and as we have the potential of a continuation there. It's quite early. We do tend to get weirdness after early moves, but it could well just carry on rocking and rolling. We did see it yesterday. It just pushed on later in the morning there and ran over. New Zealand dollar, not so keen on it. I'm just going to look at the short. Well, actually, I should look at the whole lot here so you can get the whole picture. It's in this strong downward trend. However, we've got this sort of rolling bottom, round bottom sort of occurring. It's put lower highs into the downside. It had put higher lows in the other way around, so it's just sort of looking like it wants to break to the downside. But again, like the Aussie, we're seeing a bit of a push up here. It's indecisive. Leave it alone. For me, it's full of indecision. Swissy, choppy as anything. Let's not even look there. Euro yen. We'll look at a couple of the usual suspects. Euro yen could well be switching sides again and pushing back up. It was pretty soft looking for a lot of yesterday, but it's starting this week. It's starting to move back up there as well, but we'll see what happens. There's the big gap still, and I'm looking at these gaps across, and it may be the Euro yen picks up better than the dollar yen, but yeah, there's potential, but they need a bit more time. Okay, so euro pound not really doing too much as ever. Euro Aussie now, well, it's already started moving. I put in a little marker on this when I was looking through it earlier on. It has already pushed through here. S1 could well be on the cards. Euro CAD's not too dissimilar. You can click on it. There we go. Got similar pictures here, but it's probably almost gone far enough. It might go some more, but we've already hit the R1. S1 might come into play as well, but yesterday's lows range wise it's off the table for me. The pound Aussie is doing similar thing to the Euro Aussie and the pound CAD. Well, this we're just ticking into 8 o'clock. This could continue through to the downside. I timed it yesterday and mistimed it, and it moved later in the afternoon. I'll give this some time to sort itself out, but it is certainly in a downward trend in the near term anyway. Okay, there aren't a lot of other pairs. All the yen pairs have got the gaps, the CAD yen, the Swissy yen, well, Swiss CAD yen has at least, and the Aussie yen, and they're all showing the potential in lower time frames here for gap fill. So there are those sort of trades on there. These have already probably gone too far. In fact, the Aussie yen filled straight away yesterday. So there isn't a great deal. My preference at the moment, and I'm just looking at it into its weekly pivot, is this. It's just getting a bounce now. So we'll see what develops from this. But I will be looking at the euro this morning. Right. Okay, that's the majors. Let's quick look at gold. So gold here consolidating around these lows again, still really not doing too much. I was just looking, just going back to look at what gold is actually seeing positive money coming through from the big money side of things, but not really reflecting anywhere here at the moment. It started to move okay, but it's looking choppy and it's ugly on the intraday movements at the moment. And in fact, if anything, it looks like it's got more downside. Certainly showing on the lower time frames there. Intermediate, it looks soft, and daily, to be fair, it looks soft. So gold really switched back. Oil still hanging around by its tops. Really at the moment for me, I'm not wanting to be trading this now. It might break out through this at some stage. Of course, it's been having many hits at those highs there, but really bitty. But you can see we're sort of getting the sort of 2 o'clock moves. There we go, 2 o'clock moves. So whatever else pushing up quite strongly. Only to run over quite strongly, quickly, but overall it's a messy market. I prefer it when it's in proper trends. Okay, quick look at the equity markets. Let's just run through here. CSI 300 still looking southbound. The Nikkei looking a bit more positive this morning, bouncing off its monthly pivot there and looking a little bit more positive. It's a few days down. So I'm just running through my brain there. It's just questioning things here. Tomorrow, if it was to break these lows here from Monday's lows, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more downside on that. Nifty 50, this has been pushing up, just reversed today. It gapped up there and sold off by looks of things. Breaking through the tops there. Aussie 200 still to me looking on the weaker side of things. Okay, come back to the markets. We're more interested in S&Ps. S&Ps then still trying to push up here. We've got these higher lows coming through. There's lots of markers on this that's suggesting that we'll see the big money's running back into it in a big way. Last week it sort of started piling back in. So what do they know? Well, a slowdown or a stoppage next week when we see interest rate, the interest rates discussed, may well put more upside on this. For now, it's pushing up. It's not really taking into account it's the weak economy, but it's getting the boost. Dow really following suit. It's just looking a bit more questionable underneath its monthly pivot there, and the Nasdaq, well, that's looking more positive out of them. In fact, it just looks like at some stage it's going to get a bit of a blaster, but the Nasdaq's certainly looking more positive, the equity markets there in North American. Okay, the DAX this morning, well yesterday did get its continuation through, pushed on through, but today it's looking really quite ugly on the short term time frame there. It was 8 o'clock, it got its continuation and pushed on for a bit, but again, look at the sideward action on this. It's very indecisive markets. You can't really tell too much from this, and I tend to stand away when they do this sort of thing. Likewise with the FTSE. Really, it's started picking up. It's confirmed the higher low through there, looking like it's got some positive opportunities. Just bitty, but we'll see what happens. It is looking the more positive this morning at the moment. With commodity currencies pushing up, sometimes it'll if commodity prices are pushing up, well gold isn't, but other prices are pushing up, sometimes the FTSE does pretty well out of that. Okay, that's pretty much it for me this morning. I wish you a great day's trading. Not a great deal there. You've got to just bear in mind on days like this, sometimes you just got to be patient and wait and see something developing. I've seen quite a lot of stuff happening at sort of in the afternoon session on currencies, and it may be well worth looking then. I did put a little update yesterday on the system, so if you're on my Discord system or Telegram, I did do a little afternoon update there, so I'll do one later today as well. Right, have a great day. I will speak to you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.